What's going on, guys? Wanted to do a quick video on my specific trailer setup. I occasionally get questions on Camaro forum or in person at Trackdays and wanted to kind of have a video of my thoughts and opinions on my specific setup to hopefully help people that are in the market for a trailer or looking to kind of set one up similarly. This is an 18-foot 2015 Lamar, just flat deck car trailer, steel deck, and I bought it completely, option free. It just was a steel deck trailer. At the time, when I was looking at buying new or used trailers, the used trailer pricing was outrageous, which it still looks to be. You could buy a new trailer for almost the same price as what all of these guys are asking for used trailers. They just really don't seem to depreciate in value. So that led me to looking for a new trailer. 18 foot or 20 foot. In my space requirements, my previous home and this home, I knew I couldn't fit any longer of a trailer than an 18-foot trailer. I think if space was unlimited and cost wasn't an option, then sure, I would probably go with that 20-foot trailer because you could fit tires or tools on the front or the back and have a little bit more room. But with the 18-foot, you really don't have a lot of extra room. You've got a little bit of room in front of the car that you could store stuff or put a small box. But with that 18-foot, you really just have enough room for the car. Steel deck versus wood deck. If you start looking at those used trailers for sale, the wood deck utility trailers or car trailers, 90% of those, the wood is all warped and needing replaced. That alone let me know I wanted a steel deck trailer. You're gonna pay a little bit more initially for that trailer, but you're never gonna have to touch it, other than maybe putting some paint on it, as time goes on. But the wood deck trailers, you're having to replace the wood if they get cracked or warped. That steel deck, you do nothing to it. So 18-foot steel deck. Another option, which probably most of the trailers nowadays are gonna come with, like I said, this was a 2015, so there was still, at the time, you could get normal light bulbs or LED light bulbs. And you know as good as I do, trailer lighting always seems to be an issue. So I wanted LED because you're not gonna have as much of an issue with bulbs getting corroded and connection issues. The LED sockets are typically sealed. You've got the wiring coming out of the back, and as long as that wiring is routed nicely and in a loom, you're never gonna have an issue. Trailer brakes, 1-axle or 2-axle trailer brakes. This trailer, like I said, didn't really have much options. It just has single axle trailer brakes, even though it is a dual axle trailer. For this 3,800 pound car, seems to work great. My truck has a trailer brake controller and it works fine. I've never had any times I've really thought, man, I really wish I had that second axle with a trailer brake. And I guess, honestly, I've never felt the trailer with 2 trailer brakes. Maybe if I had both trailer brakes, I'd go, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. But it is completely sufficient with 1 axle with trailer brakes. Some of the modifications that I did to the trailer, the main thing, I wanted a rock guard. There's different companies out there that you can option rock guards or whatever. I, being the crafty person that I am, just went down to our local metal supply area in town and bought the thickest piece of aluminum diamond plate that I could afford or that I wanted to spend, and told them my dimensions, how wide I wanted it and how tall I wanted it. They cut it down for me and brought it home. I cut my little corners off and bolted it to just the front rail of the trailer. I added a couple of pieces of aluminum angle iron on the back, not angle iron, but aluminum angle, just to add a little bit of rigidity to it, just to keep some of the rocks off the tow vehicle from hitting the car. And if you do take a look at the front of it, this thing is peppered with little rock chips and bugs, so it definitely is doing its job. The next big discussion that everybody seems to get into is, how do you strap your car down? There's 2 or 3 different thoughts on this. There's guys that will use these hooks and different things to hook into the cradle or the body and strap that car down to the trailer. There's guys that will use wheel straps to go through the barrel of the wheel and pull that car down. I personally don't like either of those. What I use is called E-Track. I can kind of throw a picture here. E-Track bolts to the trailer. It goes underneath the center line of the tire, and you use basically ratchet straps that can attach to your E-Track, and that cradles and pulls the wheel down to the trailer. So the car's suspension can still float when you're going down the road. Just the thought of the other methods holding tension down on the suspension is what I don't like. And if you take a look at all the major towing or transportation companies out there, Reliable, you know, all your high-end companies that move vehicles for dealerships or high-end customers, they are all using an E-Track style setup with that wheel strap that holds the wheel down. So the fact that they're all using it kind of leads me to believe that that is at least my way that I do it. At the time when I bought my E-Track, I bolted it all the way down from head to tail. For some reason, I, in my mind, thought this will be great. I'll be able to move the car forward or back wherever I wanted it and, you know, be able to perfectly get that car balanced on the trailer. Little did I know, I was only really going to be using E-Track from about the back of the wheel to the front. So this whole midsection of the car with E-Track, that has never been touched. And that was a bunch of wasted time and effort drilling all the holes. Every single hole got a bolt with a washer through the trailer, another washer, a lock washer, and a nut. So I could have saved a lot of time and money by not installing the E-Track in the center section of this car. So looking back, I would have not done that. I just would have done it in the areas that I needed it. Another thing you need to be conscious of as you're looking for trailers, new or used, you really need to watch the fender to deck height. And what you need to be watchful or mindful of is the height of your door. As that door swings open, you need to make sure you're going to clear your fender. Some trailers have removable fenders, which completely eliminates that issue, but most steel trailers, the fenders are welded on. So as I was calling different trailer dealers, I was having them go out and measure the deck to fender height so I could immediately know whether that was going to work for my car or not. Because there's a lot of guys that will pull their cars up on 2x4s to get them high enough to open the door, and I knew I did not want to do that. So fender height is a big deal if you're going to be specifically towing a certain car on it. So that was definitely something that I knew of ahead of time and called on. Another thing to be mindful or watchful of is where your trailer ramps store in the trailer. Some trailers, they will slide sideways into or underneath the trailer. Some of them will slide into the back of the trailer. And most of the time it doesn't matter. But at a lot of race events or in a tight paddock area, if you are side by side with another trailer, you are not going to be able to get those ramps that slide out of the side out. So I specifically went looking for ramps that slide from the rear out of the trailer, so I would never have to worry about parking next to somebody and not being able to get my car unloaded. Also, another thing to kind of watch for, there is a groove on the back of the trailer where those ramps clip into so you can get the car off. Some of those only have a short section on each side of that trailer deck for the ramps to go on, which will fit 99% of the stuff out there. But I wanted a trailer that groove ran all the way across, so I could, if I needed to, move those ramps completely together, a foot apart, wherever on that trailer deck, to get, if you're rolling a toolbox or a motorcycle or something weird onto the trailer that you don't want in the normal tire area up onto the trailer. And lastly is most of these trailers that you look at with an 18-foot trailer is going to be a 16-foot flat deck with a 2-foot dove. That's not really ideal. Ideally, a 4-foot dove on the back would help that approach angle of the car. This car, with its really low front splitter, I carry a rear wooden ramp that I pull the back of the truck up on to help angle the back of the trailer down, and I carry another set of wooden ramps that I extend off the back of the metal ramps that come with the trailer. And all of that is a little bit of a pain to set up, but it helps just to make sure you're not going to rip the front of your car off coming up or down the trailer. You could buy a set of race ramps, the really nice plastic lightweight ramps. Those would be a lot less wieldy than the big wooden ramps that I carry, but my wooden ramps were cheap and they work, and until they break in half, I'll probably be running them for this future. So guys, hopefully those are some good ideas or helpful hints that will kind of help you decide or shop for a trailer for a track day or, you know, vehicle transport or whatever you want to do. So thanks for watching.